This is Planet Hollywood Cancun, and I had such an interesting stay. My mind was blown the second I got here. My room is over the top. Things got even crazier with the pool party, but halfway through, I started questioning my life. Things pulled out in the end. I finished on a high note, and if you like hard rock, you will absolutely love Planet Hollywood Cancun. It is cooler, more fun, more polished, classier, and most importantly, cheaper. This is Planet Hollywood Cancun. Planet Hollywood Cancun. Look at this room. This is the director's suite. This is the craziest all-inclusive room I've ever had on the channel. This is only half of it. The other half is on the other side of this wall. Actually, there's another third out on the balcony. This is oceanfront. I'm overlooking the adults only pool. There's a crazy foam party this afternoon. I need to hurry up and get down there for that. Before I give you a room tour, I just quickly want to give you a little bit of a backstory. So this is Planet Hollywood Cancun. I'm staying in the adults only section of the property. And to take that to the next level, I've upgraded to S-Class, which is the ultra premium portion of this hotel. I guess you get extra amenities like a butler, upgraded minibar, and a lot of stuff we're probably gonna find out together. So I got here at 3 p.m. and my room wasn't ready yet, and that was a little unfortunate, but I guess it does take a lot to prep a room like this. So I just hung out in the adults only lounge bar area for an hour. I had some finger foods and I had a couple cappuccinos, which were amazing. I had a Caribbean snow drink as well. After I marinated there for an hour, both of my butlers, yes, 2 butlers, introduced themselves to me and walked me up to my room. Yeah, this room is insane. Let me show it to you. So one of the coolest things about the director's suite here at Planet Hollywood Cancun is the entrance. As soon as you walk in, you have an illuminated Planet Hollywood logo on the floor. This is something typically reserved for high-end supercars and hypercars, and you have it here in the director's suite. And then behind me is the guest bathroom. This is just the first bathroom. Wait until you see the second one. If this was just my regular bathroom, I would not be too disappointed. It's got a lovely shower, fully stocked products, and it's right off the entryway too, so it's really, really convenient. This is the unicorn area. You never see these things at an all-inclusive hotel. You have a kitchen with a bar area for entertainment. There is a microwave, which I'm not even sure you would use because you can just order brand new food whenever you want. There is a wine cooler with a couple bottles chilled in there already, and a refrigerator that is large. And not only is it large, it is fully stocked. It is the widest variety of snack and food options I've ever seen in an all-inclusive hotel room. This is living room number 1. The sofa is surprisingly comfortable. It does pull out into a sleeper as well. There is a formal dining area just in case you don't feel like casually eating at the bar. And the TV is highly advanced. You can use it to explore the entire property. You can take a look at every single restaurant and every single menu, or you can simply and easily order room service, which I did last night. And later in the video, I will tell you how good it is, or is not. All right, and this is the master living space. You can shut these main doors for privacy. I like to keep them open. I think it adds some vibrance to the room. The bathroom has a triple vanity setup. It also has a deep oval jacuzzi tub right in the middle, front and center. That's just tub number 1. There's also a gigantic rain head shower, and there is a water closet too. The master bedroom has a king-size bed as well as a leather shouldered headboard. And then there is a duplicated living room set up too with a TV and a nice quote on the wall from Marilyn Monroe. And there's one other nice little extra touch I've never seen at an all-inclusive, and that would be a secondary minibar. And then this is the balcony. It spans the entire length of the room. You can get out here in one of 2 ways, either from the living room or the bedroom. There are 2 separate areas to sit. The large jacuzzi tub is all the way at the end for some privacy. This room is oceanfront. I have spectacular views of the beach, the ocean, and it overlooks the adults only pool. Things are just starting to heat up down there. The pool party starts in an hour, which means I need to get ready and get down there. Wow, the adults only pool was so much fun today. It reminded me a lot of Rio Republica in Punta Cana, and I will explain the similarities tomorrow. You might be wondering why I have a bottle of Grey Goose in my hand, and that is because when you upgrade to Star Class here, you get a free bottle of liquor to choose from. And there's actually a lot of decent choices. So decent, I had a hard time deciding, but ultimately I chose Old Reliable here. So I'm off to dinner, I'm running late, I'm cutting this update short. I'm actually super nervous about it. I'm really apprehensive, and I'll explain everything tomorrow. All right, good morning. I just finished up a triple cappuccino breakfast at the adults only bar. That's a first ever for the channel. I'm surprised I can even keep this camera steady. Last night at East, I can barely talk. Last night at East, it was kind of what I was expecting, which is why I was anxious. It looked to be like your stereotypical, predictable, all-inclusive hibachi place, and when I got there, it was. Now, I thought the John Wick and Karate Kid artifacts from the movie were pretty cool, but the hibachi itself looked really, really bland. So I pivoted, and they were really flexible and kind. They let me eat a la carte, and the food came out fast. Way too fast to be fresh. I was in and out within 20 minutes, no exaggeration. Surprisingly, the main entree was really delicious, and that kind of salvaged the entire meal. And then the pool, it had a lot in common with Rio Republica. I think the obvious would be the energy, the action, and the fun, but it was extremely large. And when you get a large pool like that, that's really high energy, you could still sit back and enjoy the action from a distance, but still have part of the vibe. I think that's really cool. Also, the crowd was really warm, friendly, outgoing, and there were varying levels of intensity. When I first got out there, I would describe it as busy. Then it upgraded to bustling, and by the end of the afternoon, it had a little bit of chaos to it. I don't think it was quite as crazy or fun as Rio Republica, but it certainly was larger, classier, more stylish, and with upgraded options such as a cabana and day beds. So it's my second full day here at Playa Hollywood, Cancun, and I declare today beach day. So the clouds are starting to flirt today, so that's my cue to wrap things up at the beach. Really nothing spectacular, no standouts. I think the one major thing was the gentle wave action. And I've noticed that in this area before, and that's not to be overlooked, especially considering my last stay at Live Aqua. The one thing that was highly suspect, I would say, was there wasn't any specialized seating. There wasn't any designated seating for the adults only section. There wasn't anything for S-Class. It looked to be all pretty much general population. So the clouds are here at least for a while, and I think that's probably my cue to get some lunch. I'm gonna head over to the S-Class pool. So indeed and regrettably, I ate at the S-Class pool for lunch. The service was dreadful, terrible. And the food was only slightly better than the service. Now, I did decide to get into the pool for an hour or two after lunch, and I will say the service at the actual pool bar was better. And I think it's also important to note that S-Class is not adults only. It's open to everyone at the property who wants the upgraded, super premium, enhanced benefits of staying here, which are the Butler Service, upgraded minibar, and access to special areas such as the S-Class pool. It was definitely a quieter pool experience, and I think that's important because I can only assume the main pool is gonna be as lively and busy as the adults pool. And for those looking for a more tranquil experience, I think the S-Class pool could be a good option. So hopefully I can check out the main pool tomorrow, but before that, it's time for dinner tonight. And I'm really curious what this meal is gonna be like. I think it's really gonna set the tone for this stay. How good is the food here actually? We are gonna find out. I'm off to the #1 restaurant on site, the Steakhouse. All right, this is not happening. It's like the luster the sheen is wearing off from Planet Hollywood. When I first got here, this hotel was like a pinnacle with the upgrade, the double butler, and then the pool party. But as I'm starting to peel back the layers, I'm not so sure about Planet Hollywood. I pretty much have given up on the food. Dinner last night was atrocious. Absolutely the most popular restaurant. I got there at 6:30. It was packed. There was a line to check in. It took about 15 minutes to do that. It took another 15 minutes for the waiter to get to my table. At that point, I knew to order food right away. I ordered just 2 simple entrees, the steak and the ribs. They came out separately. The first one came out in 35 minutes. The second one came out in another 15 after that. I scraped away all the barbecue sauce. No meat on the ribs. The steak was average. The sliders were whatever. Yeah, I pretty much have given up on the food over at Planet Hollywood, at least over at the main building. I did go over to the Brazilian Steakhouse this morning. That is an adults only restaurant. They say they have an a la carte breakfast. Really, it's buffet style and caliber dishes served a la carte. It was pretty average, but come to think about it, it's probably the best food I've had up until this point. In terms of today, big day planned, huge day and night. I'm headed over to the main pool right now. There's also a lazy river behind me. Hopefully I can check that out. Then I'm headed back over to the adults only section. I'm going over to their other adults only restaurant, Catch, for lunch. And then after that, we got to check out this property. Lots of bars, there's an entertainment show, there's a discotheque. There is a lot to see. Big day here at Planet Hollywood, Cancun. Main pool in the books. I definitely have thoughts. I'm going to share them later though. There's a Guy Fieri's burger joint right behind me. I have to check that out. Then I'm going to hit up the lazy river. Then I'm going to show you the water park, and then hopefully I can make it to Catch for lunch number 2. Wow, quite the afternoon today. I think tonight is going to be even better. I'm going to give you a quick recap and then get on with my evening. So the pool area, if I did not have access to the adults only option or S-Class, I would not be disappointed in the main pool area in the slightest. I thoroughly enjoyed my time out there. There were like 3 or 4 pools in the main area. They all had a little bit of a different personality. There was a smaller kids family pool. There was a more tranquil area. Of course, you had the main pool, which had a swim-up bar and then a bar on the other side. I think because there were different pools of personalities and because there is a lazy river and a water park, which I'll touch on in just a second, it takes some pressure off the main pool. It wasn't nearly as crazy, chaotic, and loud as I thought it would be. After that, I hit up Guy Fieri's burger joint. If you've been to Guy Fieri's before, you will be disappointed in this one. I think it's Guy Fieri's only in name. I believe he does have like some type of branding agreement with Planet Hollywood. It's not a bad place though. It's right off the pool area, easily accessible. Burger comes out in 5 or 10 minutes. It's a decent spot to cool down. And then after that, I hit up the lazy river. It is almost the identical lazy river that I experienced at Royalton Barbaro, Punta Cana, and that's because Planet Hollywood is owned by Royalton. Now things are starting to make sense about the strengths and weaknesses of this property. I'll touch on that later for sure, but like the one in Punta Cana, there was a bar on the inside. It had the perfect depth where you could be in it with or without a tube. And then after that, I did check out the water park, basically just for you. I think it's definitely a spot you want to check out if you have some little ones, and if you're just looking to get away from the madness, that actually wasn't a bad spot to be. So that was my afternoon. I unfortunately did not get a chance to go to Catch. I just did not have the time, so I'm gonna head there tonight for dinner. And then after that, I'm gonna check out some of the activities, entertainment, and nightlife here at Planet Hollywood, Cancun. Okay, I'm back in the room after Catch. I came up here to get my mobile rig. We are on the move tonight. Catch, by the way, was surprisingly decent. Thank goodness that's where I finished my last meal, and thank goodness that's part of the adults only section. If I was coming here as a civilian, I would be eating there every single night. So we're on the move. I'm off to the evening entertainment show, and then after that, we are doing some nightlife. So that was the entertainment show for tonight. I really wanted to see the superheroes one, but it wasn't going on while I was here. As far as right now, it's 10:45. I think it's the perfect time to explore some of the nightlife here at Planet Hollywood. I know there is a lobby bar, a main bar, a sports bar, and if I have the time, we will hit the discotheque at the end of the night. Last night, wow. I had a lot of fun. The pendulum swung in the other direction last night. This trip was really oscillating. The lobby, by the way, is sensational and spectacular. It is amazing with its postmodern design and its Hollywood decor. It had fluorescents and metallics. It was literally a marvel. I was in there because the discotheque is actually on the second floor. It overlooks the lobby a little bit. It was really cool. Absolutely the coolest disco I've ever been to at an all-inclusive. I like the fact that it had an outdoor part where it overlooked the rest of the property. Definitely a very worthy late night spot. I think it goes off until like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Surprisingly though, all the action was at the main bar, and that was the case throughout this entire trip. I think that's because of its location, its central location, and its ease of access. But before I went to the disco, that's where the crowd was at. And even when I left the disco, that is where the crowd was at. So if you know me and know the channel, this trip would be incomplete if I did not do one more thing before I wrap up this video, and that is check out the breakfast buffet. So we are ending things on a positive note here at Planet Hollywood. The buffet is legitimate. The quality was just as good, if not better, than what I had a la carte at the adults only Brazilian steakhouse, but way more options. I think I counted 3 or 4 separate omelet stations. There was a crepe station, a Mexican station. They even had a syrup station, orange syrup, lemon syrup, agave syrup, chocolate syrup. They had condensed milk, powdered sugar, cinnamon. That was over the top. I got there right away in the morning, so the food was fresh. I had loads of options. I am actually regretting going there on my final hour. I should have been there right away. So before I wrap up this video and tell you what I think about this property, I want to give you 3 little things. First of all, the room service. There is an S-Class specific menu for room service. I ordered off that exclusively for Planet Hollywood and for an all-inclusive. I would categorize it as decent. Secondly would be the Wi-Fi. Up here in Costa Mujeres, Playa Mujeres, it can be spotty. And at these large all-inclusives, I think Planet Hollywood here is like 44 or 48 acres. It's a massive property. It can be really inconsistent. I'm happy to note that not only is it fast, it is really reliable throughout the entire property. And lastly, I just want to reiterate, there are 3 separate options here at Planet Hollywood. There is the main option, the general option, and then there is the adults only side. And then if you're staying either at the main side or the adults only side, you can upgrade the S-Class where you get all the premium benefits. So Planet Hollywood Cancun, 3 negatives, 3 positives. Let's get the negatives out of the way. The first one would be the location. Costa Mujeres, Playa Mujeres. It is the northern part of Cancun. There's nothing to do up here outside the resort. There's no nightlife, no restaurants. There isn't even a barber. So if you are one who likes to explore the surroundings or at least get out of the all-inclusive, that is not going to happen up here. The second negative would be the food. It isn't the worst food I've had at an all-inclusive, but it isn't the best either, not even close. There were some shining moments like the buffet this morning and catch last night, but if you are a foodie or if you are an all-inclusive person, if you've been to like a Majestic resort, an Excellence resort, if you've been to an Iberostar, a Paradisus, you are going to be disappointed in the food here. And then the last negative would be inconsistency. This property is inconsistent, and it's inconsistent a lot. The service is friendly, but often it's extremely slow. One day I specifically called the housekeeping and asked them to come. They did not. The next day I specifically called the Minibar people to replenish. They did not. The food was underwhelming, but there were some shining moments. Overall, this property just, I think, defines inconsistency. So those are the negatives. What about the positives? I think the first big one is the value. This property is a tremendous value. It is on the cheaper side of all-inclusives in general. Now, this is not a budget all-inclusive, nor is it a luxury resort, but in terms of the experience, it is more luxury than budget, and in terms of the price, it's more budget than it is luxury. And the value is so good, you kind of have to overlook some of the negatives. Number 2 would be the versatility. This property is really pretty much for everybody. If you're 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, solo traveler, couple, groups, family, no matter who you are, you're gonna be able to have a fantastic time here at Planet Hollywood Cancun. And lastly, and most importantly, this is a fun all-inclusive. If you're a fan of Hard Rock or even like a Rio Republica, this is kind of gonna bridge the gap between the two. It's gonna be more polished, it's gonna be more upscale, it's gonna be a better experience than Hard Rock. It isn't as cringe or cheesy as some of those properties can be. For those that like a Rio experience, but maybe want something more mainstream or something that is gonna be more family-oriented, this is gonna be right up your alley. So with all that being said, I'm gonna give Planet Hollywood Cancun a 4.5. In a lot of ways, it could be a 5. In a lot of ways, it could be a 4. It's a resort that's gonna appeal to everyone. It's a resort you can book blindly and be confident in. It's a resort that's gonna leave you with some lasting impressions. It's more polished than Hard Rock, it's fresher than Hard Rock, it's cooler than Hard Rock, and it has options which allow you to tailor your experience, such as adults only or S-Class. So there we have it, Planet Hollywood Cancun. It was an oscillating trip. I was on cloud 9 initially with this amazing director's suite and then the crazy foam party. Halfway through, I was questioning things, but in the end, things finished on a high note, and this is not my last Planet Hollywood. I've been to the one in Vegas, I'm here at the one in Cancun. There are a couple left if you look on their website. The only question is, which one am I going to next?
Rinse out, drop that low.